Hey, good morning there, sweet peas. Basic Prepper Mom Myra here. I want to take this opportunity to talk about a few different things. Haven't been on here in a little while, but here we go. So the little pox thing, I have to be careful what I say because I don't want to be like banned or anything, is kind of making a comeback as far as people are now starting to talk about it again. So, you know, it was found a little while back in a Merrick lab in Pennsylvania, I believe. And then it kind of went away. Like, everybody kind of freaked out for a brief time, then it went away. And all of a sudden we had the Omnicron virus pop up. Oh my gosh, well now they're going, you know, it's not really that bad. It's fine, it's a cold, it's not that bad. So now people are talking about the whole little pox situation. Now, I just started following and listening to another YouTuber who is amazing. And if you guys get a chance, she's got some really great information, really great videos up. Her name, I think it's Mama Bear Prepping. She's awesome. I just recently found her, and I think I've listened to just about every video she's ever put up because she just has some really great information. She has some really great knowledge base. And if you go to, she just did a video, I believe yesterday, on this kind of issue, but she delves more into timeline and kind of historically and kind of setting things up. Does an amazing job. She's obviously done a lot of research in this, which I really, really appreciate and I really, really like. Anyway, so I think it's going to make a comeback. I think that it's going to be something that we're going to fear. I don't think COVID anything is going to be our biggest issue. I actually think that's going to go away, even though they say cases are kind of rising and there's more in the hospital. Once the little pox thing comes into play, COVID's going to look like nothing at all. It's going to look like less than a cold. I'm just saying. But there are also a lot of people out there, a lot of preparedness type people who are saying, hey, first case of the first case that's reported, we are locking ourselves down. And they will be locking themselves in their house. They're like, we're not coming out. Nobody come in, nobody come out. We're done. We are done. Now, they're also talking about, you know, hazmat suits and protective equipment against that specifically. But, I mean, if you're locking yourself in, you're going, nope, not coming out, not doing it. Then, I mean, that's an option, right? Especially if you live out in the middle of nowhere and you have property and you're not in a big city or a big town. But even if you are, you kind of lock yourself down. Okay, so there's the situation. And I said that the whole little pox thing was going to be an issue from the very moment that it came up. I was like, oh, here we go, people. Anyway, so that brings me to what I really want to talk about, because I noticed a flaw in my plan of my preparedness. And I want to make sure that other people are not going to fall into this trap, because it is so easy to do. So I am a very beginner prepper. We've said this before. Very beginner prepper. Oh, by the way, I know that I take my hands off the steering wheel a lot, but I'm on kind of this back road where there's not a lot of traffic, and it's straight, so that's, I'm just saying. But I'm a very, back to rewind a little bit here. I'm a very basic beginner prepper. I have not been doing this very long. I'm just trying to prepare my family as best as I can. No way will I ever be able to catch up with people who've been preparing for 10, 15, 20 years, 25 years, a lifetime, okay? I understand that, but I do what I can do. Well, in that, oh my gosh, I gotta catch up, keep up with the Joneses kind of situation, I kind of spread myself really thin and was all over the place. So I would, you know, stock up on, I have to get hygiene stuff, I have to get dental stuff, I have to get first aid stuff, I have to get cleaning stuff, I have to get all of this other stuff that's out there. And I kind of let my food and water preps push to the side. At the very beginning, my food prep that's what I worked on the most, absolutely. But then once I got kind of distracted by all this other stuff, my food preps kind of took a back seat there. Well, I recently did a little bit of a quick kind of inventory and realized, okay, we're good on the other stuff, and probably I do need cleaning supplies. I need to probably, you know, bleach and stuff like that. I probably need to up that a little bit, but I didn't realize that I was as low in my food items and my food preps as I was. Like, I was like, holy crap, where did it go? Like, what happened here? So now I've had to refocus on my food, specifically my food preps. Now, my water preps were one of those situations where I always buy cases of bottled water. I have a son who's 18. He's on the autism spectrum, very high functioning, very super smart. But he's got sensitivity issues with food and drink and stuff. And our water, we have city water, highly chlorinated. Like, it smells like a swimming pool coming out of the faucet. And he cannot drink it. He is just like, I can't, it gags. He can't do it, right? So I always buy bottled water for him. Now, on an average, just normal day, he'll go through about 5 to 6 bottles of water a day, okay? If it's hot, he's going through more than that. So we go through quite a bit of bottled water. Well, when I started calculating water needs per person per day, and you multiply that by a month, 3 months, 6 months, a year, it is nearly impossible, in my opinion, to store that much water for that many people for an extended period of time. We have 6 people in our family because my mom also lives on the property with us. And I was like, there's no way I can store that much water, even if it's in like the 5-gallon jugs. Water is also very heavy. It's cumbersome. It's hard to store. I'm freaking, I'm like, I can store it for short term, enough for short term. But when you're looking at long term, it gets very daunting. So you need to look at alternatives, because you can live without food longer than you can live with water. Water is your number one, water and shelter, okay? And if you already have the shelter, then you need to be focusing on your water. So what do? Well, in where I live, I'm very fortunate. In our county, there are a lot of ponds and rivers, streams, creeks, lakes. There's a lot of water around that we can have access to. So if you're living in a big city where there's not a lot of water resources around, that's where you're going to need to really think about this. Now, we are able to get the water, but once we get the water, how do we purify it? Well, there's a lot of different ways that you can purify it. I actually got life straws for each one of the family members, as well as the life straw, and I know it's a name brand, those other brands, bag that's like a 1 or 2 gallon water reservoir, and it gravity feeds through a filter, and then it comes out a spout or a hose for a disbursement. But those are only good for a certain period of time, right? And if you can't buy refills on the filters, then what do? Well, you need to start researching on how to make your own filters with what you have around or what you're going to have available to you at all times. If you have homeschoolers, this is an amazing project to do. Research, look up different water filtration systems that you can do with sand, charcoal, whatever that you have around your house or you can get some water out of the tap, put some dirt in it, and experiment with your kids through water filtration on which water filters out the clearest. Now, still wouldn't recommend you drinking that water at the time. It is good to have the purifying tablets just to be on the safe side. But once again, they're going to run out too. You can't supply those. So you start looking at water filtration. You can buy actually water kits right now, which I would suggest buy the water kits online, and they will, they have different kits that will tell you how much, how much chemicals are in your water, or, how high the pH is, or if you have bacterial, whatever. So you can buy those, absolutely. But research now. If you live in a bigger city where you don't have access to all of these water resources around, look around and see where your alternative water sources are. And you might have to travel a ways. So then you have to have a plan. Okay, you need 3 water resources that you can come up with, that you can go to if you need water. Okay, so what are those resources? Have at least 3 places to go, because if you know there's water there, chances are everybody else is going to know there's water there. So have 3 backups for your water resources. Figure out how you're going to get there, how long it's going to take you to get there, what you're going to collect the water in, how you're going to get the water back, and once you get it back to your location, how are you going to filter it? Do that now. Get everything in place right now. Get your plans in place, because like I said, water is the main resource that you need to have on hand. And you can stock up for a short period of time, but do not wait until the very end to figure this all out. That's one of the downfalls of people on the show Survivor, if you guys have ever seen the show Survivor, because they get in a situation where they put off, like they're focusing on the shelter and stuff, and they kind of put off the waters. A lot of them put off the water, looking for water. Well, when they finally find the water, they are so thirsty and so dehydrated at that time that they don't wait to either filter the water or boil the water. Most of the time, they're like, I can't handle it. I'm just going to take my chances. And they scoop it out and drink it, end up with a waterborne illness. It takes them out of the game. Okay? Except this isn't a game. And if it takes you out, it takes you out, because you're not going to have doctors around to help you out on that. Okay? Whole nother issue we'll talk about later. But for right now, your homework is to find at least 3 places around you that have water, so 3 water resources, and get a plan on how to get there, how to collect the water, how to get the water back, and also get your filtration system in place for when you get the water back to your location, okay? Don't be freaking out at the last minute like me and going, oh my God, what are we gonna do? What are we gonna do? Okay? Practice, 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 and get a plan in place. And as always, have a great, amazing day. If you have any questions or comment, please feel free to reach out to me. Other than that, we'll talk to you guys later. Have a great day.